stuns the world. The original four Gospels were written at least 40 years after the death of Christ. The newly discovered Book of Thomas, however, seems likely to have been written earlier. Could it be what the Gospels are not? An eyewitness account?
Because the Gospel of Thomas has no narrative in it, doesn't say anything about the crucifixion or the resurrection. It assumes that Jesus is alive. It talks about Jesus as the living one, and then just makes of his importance, namely these things he said.
While its authenticity is still open to question, the Book of Thomas does give us a Jesus who seems less apocalyptic than the Jesus of the four Gospels. In Thomas, he is more of a gentle teacher of wisdom. In Thomas, Jesus seems more occupied with each individual's inner spiritual odyssey.
His disciples said to him, "When will the kingdom come? It will not come by watching for it. It will not be said, 'Behold here,' or 'Behold there.' Rather, the kingdom of the Father is spread out upon the earth, and people do not see it." Thomas 1:13.
Look into our own hearts, Jesus seems to be telling us. But at this point in his life, the beginning of his ministry in the Galilee, Jesus' path will cross another, and it is the original Gospels which provide the telling.
And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee and was baptized of John in the Jordan. Mark 1:9.
In meeting the Baptist for the first time, Jesus is exposed to a radical political philosophy, a philosophy which may signify the first steps he would take on his way to the cross.
The only other messianic prophet, to use that term, at the time of Jesus that we know of was John the Baptist. And what John the Baptist was doing, of course, was bringing people out into the desert, taking them through the Jordan, back into the Promised Land. He was reenacting the Exodus conquest. That was terribly, terribly subversive. What he was doing was planting ticking time bombs of apocalyptic expectation all over the Jewish homeland.
After the baptism, Jesus, like John and so many prophets before him, sets off for the wilderness. He is about to have a profound spiritual experience alone in the desert. This is Quarantal, northwest of Jericho. To Christians, it is the Mount of Temptation. It is here that Jesus spent 40 days and nights fasting and praying. It is here that Jesus is confronted by the devil, who beckons to him from the dark side. Jesus is tempted 3 times, and 3 times he resists. This cleansing frees him to begin his ministry and completes his break with the Baptist. In the 4th century, a Byzantine monastery commemorating the site was built into the mountain on the remains of a Roman fort. Jesus, having resisted the temptation, leaves the wilderness and returns to the fertile hills and abundant waters of the Galilee. In fact, an extraordinary number of the tellings in the New Testament from this point forward involve images of water. Perhaps that is why the Galilee is prized by archaeologists, and some of the world's most startling finds are concentrated here by the Galilee shores. It is 1986, and Israel is parched by drought. 2 brothers are drawn to the receding waters of the Galilean Sea. Unbeknownst to them, they are about to make a startling find: an ancient boat dating back to the time of Jesus. Could this waterlogged wood have survived all those centuries? Is there any connection between this boat and the wise, charismatic teacher from the Galilee?
And Jesus, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simon called Peter, and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And he saith unto them, Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men.